Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next part here. This is a long ass read. It's usually not like this. So Aquarius, you must be going through something like you might be at a life impasse or like a huge crossroads or something's going on with you, babes. All right, something's going on, my Aquarius. All right, let's see. What is the overall energy with the tarot? Yeah, malicious intent. That's demonic. That's when you're like, you've literally sold your soul to the devil. When you're like that. When you have no room or empathy for how you affect others and breaking your promises, like you go out of your way to just you never learn. You just continue to attach yourself to other people that do have their light, that do protect their light, that do love themselves, just to leave them in a worser situation or a lesser situation. That's demonic. That's not just an empty vessel, because there's a lot of empty vessels or schizoid types that will just want to be alone. They're like asexual. They won't attach themselves to other people. But a demon is somebody that uses and depletes other people and never returns anything. They don't give back. It's an unbalanced exchange. And they like light matches to things. They leave people in towers. They destroy shit. They traumatize other people, and they get to the point where some of them get a smile out of it. They misinterpret it. They've deluded themselves so far gone that they actually perceive that as power, or like that's a demon, y'all. You feel me? You get what I'm saying? Okay, you get what I'm putting down? Okay. All right. Energy. Ace of Cups. Yeah, there's no love here, or somebody doesn't love themselves. Yeah. Somebody here needs to tell the truth about their feelings. They can't make a love offer when they don't love themselves, or they can't about somebody following their dreams. Maybe they need to tell somebody that they don't love the fact that somebody is following their heart and their dreams. This is bad karma, but you already intuit this potentially. Somebody's confused. To be coming from that kind of place is a confused, unhealed place. Somebody here is protecting their unresolved feelings, or a place in which they are that doesn't have love. Or a King of Swords needs to tell the truth and tell somebody that they don't know how to love, or they don't love themselves, or they have unhealed trauma, and that they're confused. They need to say that. They need to communicate that. Okay? Because somebody here already intuits it. They're a high priestess. And you not saying anything or protecting somebody that doesn't even love you, or you don't love, or over what's better for you, is bad karma. It's going against the universe. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Somebody making a love offer to somebody that they don't love, or they know isn't the one for them, is bad karma for everybody. And it's confusing. Somebody wants somebody to move forward in confusion at an accelerated rate, and I don't know why. They want somebody to move forward with this confusion. Oh, okay, because it's a Queen of Cups in reverse. A manipulative, irrational. Yeah, so this is a continuation. Okay, so I'm getting distorted water sign feminine. I'm getting Sagittarius. I'm getting Pisces, Aquarius energy here. Somebody needs to get out of their shell. It's very important. It's like somebody's at a crossroads right now, and this determines the rest of the way your life is going to go, you know? Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? What's up, unicorn? All right, let's get this last message before we dive into the tarot from the Divine Feminine deck, okay? Yeah, somebody's not helping somebody, or somebody's not lending a hand. It's like they're selfish because they don't want somebody to shine. Dolly Parton in reverse. Somebody here could be a songwriter. Somebody could just be a starseed energy or creative or somebody that's meant to shine. So because somebody wants to shine in their light as they are, because that's who they are, somebody isn't going to help them. Somebody doesn't want to lend a hand. It's like a control tactic. That's so unloved. That's not love, that's control. Those are two different things, but some people they completely confuse the two out of their fear. Wow. Okay. So that's where we're at. So let's see. Somebody here could have brown eyes and brown hair. Okay. Somebody's name could be Wilma. Wow, Wilma man killer in the reverse. Somebody here is not a man killer. They actually, when they choose somebody, they actually love them, and they will always have consideration for what's best, both health-wise, spiritually, and lovingly. All right, let's read up on this. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. All right, Wilma. All right, guys, so the year 2000 could be significant. Somebody's name, first, middle, last initials, W or M, okay, could be significant. So somebody's not lending a hand here. It should be in the upright. It's in the reverse. Somebody's not being supportive, or they're not reaching out, or they're not helping somebody. They're not aiding somebody. Absolutely, Lala. What's your question, love? And yes, I have spent quite an amount of hours, thousands of hours on psychology and stuff like that. I'm glad that it shows, because if it didn't, then I wouldn't have learned or integrated any of it. I would just be somebody who's just talking out of their ass, you know what I mean? Which I can't stand people like that, y'all. I hate that shit. My question is, do you think that a demon knows they have demons? Yes, but to what extent? I think that they ignore. I think they don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because then they'd have to face everything that they've done and to everyone throughout their whole life, and that's a lot of shame. That some people are just too immature or don't have the capacity. But it's like at a certain point, if there's divine intervention, you're forced to, because you keep hurting people. And if it's to the point where you just can't and you don't have the capacity, then you need to not have the capacity to attach yourself to other people, because you're like parasitic at that point, and that's not okay. That means you're like hazardous to humanity. It's like, and you can't possibly blame that on everybody else over and over again, thinking an external force or partner is going to heal you. But narcissists and sociopaths do stuff like that. It's like they don't notice the pattern. Really? How is it that they're so much more stable when you're not in their aura? Hello, it's definitely you. How is it that they can have like peace and normalcy like when you're not around, or that you got more out of the relationship every time than they did? That they never did the things you did to them, but yet you're over here talking shit about them. Like, none of it makes sense. It's all unbalanced and out of whack. And they know that they know that they're dark, but they start to like grow some kind of like gross relationship with that darkness, to where they like start to celebrate it. It feels like home, and they like it spreads within their being, y'all. And eventually you're so far gone that God doesn't want to save you. He's given you away to Lucifer. You're one of the devil's children now. And it's the worst thing. That's the thing that God doesn't want to see happen ever. But there is free will. So that's the thing. But here's the thing, though. There's free will and there are consequences, though. You can't... Don't be mad when all of a sudden you finally get your karma. Because you will. Okay? Whether that's dying alone and nobody being at your hospital bed, or you getting fired without pension after you worked a job for 30 years, or your wife leaves you, or your husband cheats on you, or... I mean, I'm just saying, y'all, and... That's not excusing certain people just cheat because they just cheat. But I'm saying that like the love of your life no longer wants to even be your friend, like, or stuff like that. Don't be surprised. Hello. It's, yeah. So yeah, to answer, I hope that answers your question. It's kind of a difficult, multi-layered thing. Because it's like, yes, they do know that they're dark, yes. That much is clear. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it in the shadow. They wouldn't do it in the moon energy. They would do it out in the open. They know that much not to do, right? It's like, you're not going to pull this shit that you're pulling on me, husband, on your boss, are you? You know not to do that, right? So why do you pull that shit on me at home then, when nobody's around to see it? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. All right, so back to what I was saying. So a little bit about Wilma. Okay? So when we pull Wilma, the most successful, the most fulfilled people are the ones who get up every morning and stand for something larger than themselves. Somebody's not doing that. The meaning of lend a hand is our capitalist society may consistently tell us that we need more stuff, more money, more achievements, and the list goes on. It is not material wealth and things that are going to bring you the greatest happiness. It's caring for others and working for something greater than yourself. The fulfillment you crave will come from the care that you give. Okay? This might be through acts of kindness, gifting your time and energy to causes in your community, or a new career that gives back to people and places. Remember, study after study has proven that the act of giving is what leads to deep and lasting happiness. It's proven, okay? Alternate meanings are interconnectedness. Everything we do touches others, Aquarius, our surroundings and our environment. Feel into the ways we are all connected and reflect on what impact you want to have on our world. Align your desired impact with your actions. That's what alignment is, okay? And in order to be aligned, you have to know yourself on the inside. You have to trust yourself on the inside. And you have to connect to source. And connecting to source when you've been disconnected is a very painful process, but you still got to do it. And if you don't do it, eventually the darkness is going to spread and you're going to live an unfulfilled life and you're never going to have true love because you're always going to destroy it and everybody's going to leave you and da 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 da, and the list goes on. Okay? So, a little about her history. Wilma Mankiller was born in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. So Oklahoma could be significant. The capital of Cherokee Nation. Maybe somebody's Cherokee. Or, yeah, Cherokee Nation could be significant. Her unique last name came from her father's lineage, which refers to a traditional Cherokee military rank. Okay, somebody's father could be in the military. Her family with 11 children, wow, lived in a small house with no electricity or plumbing. Jeez. She didn't realize that they lived in poverty. She didn't even know. She thought that this was normal, and she loved this time, living off the land, hunting, and being immersed in her Cherokee heritage. Wow. Financially struggling, they moved to San Francisco as a part of the Indian Relocation Act, a law that moved Native families off reservations to assimilate them into the general population. Yeah, that was fucked up when they did that, y'all. That was a hell no. Ugh, just so wrong. But that did happen in history. So that's why there's been reparations and stuff, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, Wilma was only 11 and she found life. It's funny, the last, Virgo's reading, the person was 11 when she had to do something like prostitution, y'all. So the number 11 keeps coming out in childhood. Maybe something happened to somebody when they were 11. Or 1111 could be significant. Maybe something is a dream come true, but somebody's too fucked up and unhealed to attain that when it's right there. and they're ruining it, and they have no idea of the other side of things because they've never lived it, but their fear isn't letting them find out. Like, it could be one of those things. Just like this person, she didn't know she was in poverty. She actually loved her life. Like, she loved being on the land. It wasn't until later that she learned that she was impoverished. Like, it's all about perspective, yo. So anyway, Wilma was only 11, and she found life in the city away from her tribe very, very difficult. Poor girl. At times, Wilma struggled academically, but she still graduated high school. By 19, she was a married mother. Wow, that's very young. After the birth of her second daughter, she went to junior college and became inspired by Native American and civil rights groups. She supported the occupation of Alcatraz, helped Northern California tribes, somebody could be from California, reclaim their tribal lands, and drafted legislation to protect Native children from being taken from their families. My gosh. Wonderful person. It's like, this is somebody who lended a hand and has lived it through experience, because that's how they know how important it is. They've seen both sides of the fence. And once they saw that there was something that was needed to be done, and there was a way that they could help, they just had to put the energy into it. They didn't turn a blind eye to that. They did put the energy into it. They did show up. They did lend a hand. Somebody's not doing that. Somebody's not doing that. In the late 70s, so the 70s could be significant, Wilma went home to Oklahoma. She finished college while creating the Community Development Department of the Cherokee Nation, wow, where she raised millions of dollars and managed beneficial community projects. So impressed, the chief asked Wilma to be his running mate in the next election. He won, making her the first female deputy chief of the Cherokee Nation. Bravo. Hell to the yeah, dudes. That's so cool. Wow. In the next election, Wilma was elected as the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation and the first female chief of any major Native tribe. She served for 10 years, renewing the tribal government and its relationship with the federal government. She dramatically improved education, housing, and health care while consistently advocating that people in tribal nations have their own indigenous solutions to their problems. For her entire life, she worked for the good of her people. Okay, so somebody might have like an eccentric way of doing things, to solutions to problems, but it's like people dismiss it instead of like respecting that some people need to do things a different way. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't mean that you need to force, like, you know, like this reminds me of a situation where it's like, no, you need to get a line and do things because this is the way things are done. No, it's not. That's not the only way things are done. At least not for this person. What works for you isn't what works for this person. Or change it around, Aquarius. You could be going through this. Okay? I've been there so many times where people like, they've thought I was like naive or just up in the clouds, because in order for them to understand what I'm getting at, they would have to have the patience to go through the process to get to the finish line, because I cannot present all the components within one conversation. I can't present all of the components of a song that requires 40-piece orchestras and da-da-da-da-da with a simple melody. You got to give me like 2 months to complete it, to go to all those studio sessions, to lay down every single little part, and then you can hear it as a finished product. So before you dismiss it and say, yeah, nah, that's not that catchy, or yeah, nah, that I don't think that's the right chorus, or it's like you're not hearing it though the way I'm hearing it in my head, and I can't show you unless I'm giving time to complete that symphony. And without your leap of faith and trust in me, it's going to be a completely unbalanced, conflicting, just miserable experience. So somebody here needs to learn how to trust somebody in their uniqueness, in their difference, and trust that they don't know everything, and be humble enough to admit that, and be open to a new experience is what I'm getting. All right? Because somebody definitely knows what the frick they're doing, but they do it different. They could be like a goat. They could be a starseed. They could be here purposely for that reason. That's exactly why they were designed that way, for all somebody knows. God made it that way on purpose. But there's either a person or a group or a family or a workplace, whatever it is, that doesn't respect this. And so they don't want this person to shine. But meanwhile, when people shine, it affects millions of lives, like thousands of lives, hundreds of lives. And change that needs to happen. And it's like, if you play God and try to disrupt somebody's life path just because you don't like how it makes you feel, what does that make you? You know? You really have to ask yourself. So anyway, to finish this out, her achievements earned her national fame and recognition. She was inducted into the Oklahoma Women's Hall of Fame, was given honorary degrees and a citation for leadership from Harvard University, and was recognized as the Woman of the Year in 1987 by Miss Magazine. In 1998, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. In 2010, at the age of 64, so somebody could be 64, be born in 64, or 2010 could be significant. Wilma died from pancreatic cancer, that could be significant. But her legacy continues to live on through the doors she opened for other Native American women and the millions of people whom she inspired and cared for. Blessings to this woman and the wisdom that she gave to this world. Iconic. Iconic. And see, a person that is full of love and light truly appreciates somebody like this. They don't care if it makes, even if you're an American, even if you're on the other side of the fence, you celebrate people like this. It doesn't matter if you have different views. This deserves to be celebrated because they're not accommodating your group. They're accommodating the people that they're meant to accommodate, that need help from this kind of energy. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's meant to be that way. It should be celebrated. It's like certain people are meant to help certain people. Certain people are meant to be with certain people. Certain people are meant to be the glitch in the matrix. It doesn't mean that somebody else isn't worthy, or that like you're just owning your family, or you're, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of that shit is real. None of it matters. Fuck that shit. Okay? Live in your authenticity and go find that shit like your life depends on it, because it does. Fully. Everything depends on it. Okay? So with that being said, Holy Spirit, holy angels, archangels, ancestors, and the Most High, I'm calling on you to channel your ancient wisdom, your guiding light, your strength, your clarity with intention towards our blessed North Node. Please help me bring forth the most important messages for my Aquarius collective now through November, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Clear, concise, and precise. I will interpret these messages from the heart, from the soul. Any negative energy interference, please return to the sender. And on behalf of the collective and myself, we love you, we thank you, and we trust you. Yeah, here, somebody doesn't want to put the effort in. It's like they see that there's an issue. They know it. They've been activated. They've been cued in, and they're still deciding not to. That's so foul. Shame on whoever that is. Yep, they're rebelling instead. So this is bad news, because it's causing, it's total injustice that somebody's getting left out in the cold because of it, and they got betrayed because of it. They got rebelled against because of it. This is irrational energy. Somebody got discarded, ghosted, left out in the cold, completely unjust, completely unfair. Somebody took their offer back and betrayed somebody because of this. Can you even imagine? All due to somebody's bigotry and misinformation and bitterness. Some feminine. Because you have control over your life path and where you're going. They don't like that you shine and know who you are. They don't like that shit. You're still moving forward anyway, ho. 3 of Wands. Now what? And it's your loss, obviously. Yeah, so look at this. They're so resentful. 4 Cups. They don't care. They're so disconnected. They don't give a shit. They just want it their way. And they've been causing nothing but obstacles on purpose. They want instability regarding somebody's career. All due to the fear from childhood and some shadow work that needs to be done desperately. What's the obstacle or the challenge? Wow, the way this is coming out, it's so direct today. That somebody's giving up and they don't care anymore about this person, anybody in this group, or any of these people's, you know, validation at all. They don't give a shit what they think anymore. They're giving up on pleasing any of these people. Good for you. Yeah, because they realize somebody has shadow work to do. It's like the problem is somebody wants somebody to not have boundaries and to give up on themselves. And they're not. They're not. Nor will they ever. So you're going to get left behind and they're going to get a 10 of cups. You're going to have to wash that shit and eat that shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You keep coming out. You keep coming. Is this you, Aquarius? I hope not. This could be a Libra, a Gemini, an Aquarius, a Virgo. Yeah, because somebody spent so much time invested in something, heavy on that Virgo energy. Deep down, somebody knows that somebody's been lying about something that someone's been invested in for a very long time. Somebody knows. Somebody's being seen as somebody who's just a hater, a top tier control freak hater, causing satire, complaining about what somebody's invested in. Yeah, they're emotionally unbalanced and irrational. And they're in denial. Like, they're not God. I don't know why they think they can act this way. It's sick. Yeah, because somebody loves themselves. They're loved by the people they're meant to be loved by. They love what they do. They love what they do. They love it. In the past, so shame on you, feminines. Yeah, in the past, Sagittarius energy. Something was meant for somebody. Something was fated. Something was good luck. It came with blessings. Something was a shift, a turn of the wheel in the right direction. And somebody didn't like that shit because they have shadow work. They're drowning in their past. Strength. Yeah. The strength is to mourn this and continue on what's destined for you. Continue on your soul path. Leave these people behind. If they can't get on the bandwagon, I don't care if they're your friends, your family, your cousins, your brother, your homie, your favorite barber. I don't give a shit. Whoever they are, leave them behind. Mourn them and continue. Don't ever give up what's destined for you. You know what's improvement and what's not. You know what is your destiny. Nobody can tell you what your destiny is. It's like, look at all these karmics, y'all. There's a King of Wands in their ego that is stuck in a stalemate because of a lie, because of confusion regarding where somebody's going and the fact that they have control over their life, the fact that they're successful, the fact that they're ambitious. They don't understand somebody's ambition. They don't understand it. Somebody's going towards the 10 of Cups, which is the ultimate wish fulfillment for a starseed energy. This is somebody that wants true love, not control, trust, teamwork, faith, emotional support, emotional vulnerability, connectedness. That's where they're going. Y'all aren't healed enough to come with. In the near future, yeah, this was like a generational curse breaker. In the near future, somebody's going to try to play somebody with some communication. Okay, nobody cares. What's the advice? Yeah, you're not trusting your better judgment. Queen of Cups in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse. They're trying to do something to delay. Yeah, they don't want two people to be together. They're refusing to separate, or there's resentment towards a relationship or two people connecting. It's like a really Jewish family that wants their son with a Jewish woman, y'all. It's like they frown upon everybody else. That's so sick. That's so not okay. I'm sorry. I understand traditions. I understand culture, but if somebody is loving, it's all about where your heart. It should always boil down to the heart. Are you good-hearted or are you not? That's all that should matter when making a decision at the end of the day. Do you have good intentions or do you not? I don't care if you're what religion you are, what you look like. If you love my son truly, and I can depend on you to navigate them through the storms, through the, through life in a positive way with his best intentions at heart. That's what matters to me. Yes, you can marry my child. Like, stuff like that is what matters. I don't care that you're a woman and there's never been a woman running the show or this department. If you have the qualities I'm looking for, you got the job. That's what needs to be happening here. But it's not. People are being bigoted, prejudiced. Somebody's lying about, why somebody's invested in something, or the fact they've been spreading misinformation about somebody's long-term investment. They've been distorting it, making it into a bad thing, or trying to, make it seem like it's for bad intention or something. It's not. You're just a bitter, karmic bitch hoe. You're just a miserable, insufferable energy with no heart and no soul. That's why you don't want it to boil down to the heart space or the intention. You just boil it down to control because you have no heart. Exactly. You can't end you cannot end somebody's destiny. You cannot end Scorpio Sagittarius energy, somebody's destiny and good fortune and good karma. You don't get to do that. Good. Good, Arlene. Yeah, somebody has a decision to make, and it is sad. You know what's the saddest part? Is that somebody good-hearted has had to endure any of this shit. That's what's sad. Not what you have to, not you having to give up these karmic, bitter-ass family members or karmic hoes with their shitty opinions. That's not sad. What's sad is this person that's in their destiny, doing good things for the world, and they're getting all this shit for it. That's what's sad. That's who you should feel bad for. These people should be so ashamed. They're so fucking embarrassing. They're all bullies. Look at this. They're bullies and oppressors, all because somebody's following their heart. All because of the plan somebody's making. All because somebody follows their heart and they know what they want, what kind of love they want in their life. They don't like it. So they want to, shit on it. And this love story, like Romeo and Juliet, is a heartbreaking love story. Because of these people. Because one lover is not strong enough to go tell him to fuck off. Is what I'm getting. Very sad. Oh well. Because you're not going to win at all costs. Due to somebody's strength. And you having no follow through with this commitment. You're going to lose this starseed. Who was the blessing. Who wipes the floor with all of these people. With their opinions. You're going to have to sacrifice that then. How sad. Anyway, Leo. That's so sad because somebody with the strength is somebody that would have been strong for you. But you're not doing that for them. That's what's sad. All because of outside opinions. When you know that the love is there. When you know somebody loves doing what they love to do. Like me, I love music, y'all. I love music. It just, I hear it in my dreams, okay? It's like telling me not to do music. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, just because you're jealous and you don't want to see me shine, for instance. I'm using myself in as example because I've been through something similar. It's like somebody's family or their tribe didn't want me to be with my ex because they're all polyamorous and non-committal and they all do things a certain way. And I was like the loyal monogamous. I had my faith in God. They don't believe in it. It was a shit show. And I didn't know that my person who pursued me and told me in the beginning that they were looking intentionally for a deeper connection. They need something that's more connected. I was exactly what they manifested. I was exactly that. And they couldn't take the heat. They couldn't take the pressure of me being different and unique in my soul's purpose. They tried to instead change me. They put me through the ringer. He put me through me questioning my worth. It was a disaster. And I had to tell him to go. Even while I loved the shit out of him, but he was abusing me because his ego couldn't handle the criticism of his family and his friends. It was like he he was losing his shit because of it. It was too stressful. And then it was projected onto me that I was the most chaotic person, that they couldn't be in this relationship anymore because I'm too chaotic and I always want a confrontation. No, I'm fighting for myself. I'm fighting for my humanity. I'm fighting for my career. I'm fighting for my light. How do you not see that? It's blatantly obvious that all your people, it's like they're prejudiced. And instead of standing unified with me against that prejudice, you're criticizing me, or you're coming at me, or your moods are changing, and you're not telling me what people are saying. But I knew, because this is what I don't tell the people that I've never told a single lover that I've ever been in a connection with that I'm psychic. Ever. Not once. I told myself that I would only tell the person that I marry that. Because if they knew that I could see into the future, and they knew the blessings that I bring to the table, and they knew how valuable my love was, then I wouldn't be able to organically observe if they loved me for real or not. I don't even take my clothes off, like during sex fully, until I marry my husband. The person that actually loves me will get to do that with me. That's the only way I know how to protect myself, y'all. And even with those protections put in place, I have been put through the meat grinder, and I'm sure you guys have too. And it's not fair. Not when you've showed up with your full heart. It's not fair. But don't ever let it keep you from your strength. Always be your sword and shield. For yourself and for others, for what you know is right. Because there's something about this that absolutely isn't right, y'all. It's just not. Okay? So, to end this reading, Mars in Aquarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Sun, Mars in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Sun, Libra, Virgo, Sun, Scorpio, Sun, Venus in Virgo, distorted water sign, feminine, Venus in Aries, Mercury in Aquarius, Mars in Leo, Sagittarius Sun, Libra Moon, Scorpio Sun, Cancer Moon, Mars in Scorpio, Pisces Aquarius, Leo Sun. Could be significant. Wow, y'all. That